So I got curious and I looked up, I was looking at their page and they have patch notes saying that they revamped. I think this game has 40 puzzles and it sounds like they replaced like as many as half of them. So then I got curious and I started looking at like old pages about this game. What is that? Look at that. I started looking up like old playthroughs of this game out of curiosity because the patches describe such massive changes. There's entire puzzle types that used to be in the first game that are just gone now. This game changed to an extent where it's basically unrecognizable, and it changed like a month ago. So this is basically a brand new game that's masquerading as being the first game. And it's funny because when I talked about ReThink and ReThink Evolved being an annoying and frustrating like naming scheme, the fact like it being called Evolved would make you think that it was a remake that iterated on or changed the original game, right? But as far as I can tell, this game is now ReThink Evolved, in that this is now an evolved version of the original game with some of the original puzzles, some new puzzles, and it's all remixed and so on. I was curious because when I launched this game, I had the choice of playing the original ReThink or what was called the old version, and it had in parentheses like not recommended, and I didn't know what that meant. But now that I've looked it up, like if you glance at any other playthrough of this game, it looks like a different video game. Like basically there's a new version of this game that's a massive overhaul, and I'm possibly the first person on YouTube to play it ever. So this is like, despite a game being a game from like a year and a half ago or something like that, I want to say, I'm basically the first person to play it because of how massively it changed now. It's a real weird one. It looks like they gave me the new one. Yeah, the tri-directional laser. Oh, it's going directly into this beam. Okay. So you're spitting out a green and a blue from the same source. And this looks like it's a teal location. Yeah. But these are greens. That's another teal. That's interesting. So I need to redirect this green. Probably like, maybe like this or the other way. Do I want to shoot straight or not is the question, I guess. Not altogether sure. I could just shoot it straight. All that I know is that the green is shooting directly into this. And I can't have it do that because it has to activate 4 different things. Whereas the blue only needs to get to those 2 spots. So the blue probably reaches these 2 via like this guy right here, I would say. There we go. You probably are enough to get the blue into where both places it needs to be. I just need to redirect it so it actually gets here. Maybe via these. Okay, so now the blue is all the places it needs to be. And I have a lot more to work with here. I think you're gonna go here. I do kind of like being able to stand on these. Ta-da! So straight will augment the blue to become teal, activating both the teals, whereas the diagonals will give these 2. Oops, this will probably look pretty cool when it's solved. So I need the green to come here. Right now it's going over there. Oh yeah, there we go. Ta-da! Zoom. Activates basically everything in the area. What's interesting to me is that the guy who made this game made 4 games. And then went back and updated the first game so significantly, where they revamped and replaced half the puzzles. That means that well, I don't know if this was their first game or not, but if they did, then half these puzzles are from their first puzzle game they ever made, and the other half are essentially like their 5th puzzle game. Like, if the difficulty curve seems weird at all, it's probably because of the massive disparity of when each puzzle was made. I don't know. The backlog of updates for this game is confusing and weird. Like, really confusing and weird. And the more I look into it, the more confused I get. It also looked, frankly, the original version of this game looked kind of bad. Like these cubes they have here, the system looks pretty clean. This is not what the original game had, because I was looking into that and I'm like, what? It looked really weird and kind of unfortunate, honestly. And now it's not like that. All right, so 2 teals, 3 teals, 4 teals, 4 teals and a yellow. Okay. So green has to reach all 5 of these spots, but red only reaches 1. Well, okay, so let's just do that. That's what red does. That's most likely its only use. So now we need to get green to everywhere while getting blue to a few places. That's a weirdly located spot. So blue comes out of here, shoots straight. Shooting straight is useless because it shoots directly at nothing. What happens if I give you this? Uh-oh. We get immediate problem. But it's going into that. But that's problem 2. Because this is green and red, right? So blue shooting directly into where the red's going is a problem. But this is the only spot where I can stop the red before it reaches this teal, so this has to be correct. So then I would think maybe the solution is to put something here, but then the green and blue are tied to each other. And if the green and blue are tied to each other, then I can't ever get just regular old green to mix with this, this spot. Let's leave that for a second. There's the yellow. That gives me yellow, but it shoots green to nowhere over there. And let's see. That's better. Ah. Much better solution. Cool. So green plus red is making yellow. And now I just need to get somehow the blue. So like if I mix blue and green here, I just need to make it go through there, 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 and there somehow. Let's reverse engineer this one. Nothing there, nothing there. So it has to be diagonal. There. Did I do it yet? No, green's not in it. There we go. Yeah. It's like this is so far off in the middle of nowhere, it only has one trajectory that can work it, so I knew that that's where the diagonal had to come from. And then the rest kind of solved itself. There we go. There's been like no consistency to the challenge in these levels. Some of them are so hard, and some of them are almost paint by numbers, and I think that is why. I think it's because the developer worked on this game with so much work in between its steps. I don't know. So, number 23. Blue comes from inside here, but only if I hit the X's. Oh. Okay. Why is that happening? Oh. Oh, but that's not in the right position. Interesting. So if I put it here, blue shoots directly into it, meaning it keeps turning the beams purple. So it rapidly flickers back and forth and causes seizures in certain medical conditions. I don't know the condition. I don't know how that condition works necessarily. Does a beam like that flashing pose the same threat as like a screen flashing? Or I don't know the limits. Let's see. To open the door, I need the diamonds. And the diamonds are white. Oh. That means everything's definitely mandatory. Because that's blue behind the door, and that's green behind the door. I need green and blue and red to even make white, so that has to happen. Okay. They gave me 2 of these, though. That's curious. A lot of power. So that turns both of these on. So from there, I probably want to use this guy to give myself the purple beam. And now I need to intermix this with green somehow. Okay. So to open green, I need to power both of these purples. Is it cut on the corner again? Oh, these corners. They hurt my feelings. Man. Alright, well that's unfortunate. How do I get to both of you? Kind of just seeing what iterations I can get here. Let's see. So that gets 1 purple, but not the other one. And there's nothing over here to redirect that way. Am I on the right track back here? Is this the only way that this place can work? I would think so. Because this has to come here. So it probably goes that way. Because if I split it at all, then the blue interferes with its own opening, which means we don't get to have it open, which is a problem. I'm pretty sure that this gets me in trouble. That means red doesn't go that way. I'm pretty sure I want it to go that way. Oh god. There we go. Yeah, it freaks out if I make it anything else. Oh shit, it lines up that easily, huh? Oh, that's embarrassing. I didn't realize that would line up that cleanly. Alright. So, purple plus green. Is this gonna be it? Not quite. Oh, that's fixable. Got it. Got it. That's clean. Alright. That's one of the things, you gotta just check every single square, because there's so many of them lying around. You have to figure out which one in the possibility space helps you solve your problem, which can be hard, because there's so many damn things on the screen. So many little cubes on the floor. Or, yeah, well, there's squares on the floor, but the game calls them cubes because they contain, you know, cubes. Kind of. Or something. So you're just shooting green in two different directions like an asshole, huh? Great, thanks. This is like quantum puzzles or something, or I don't know. It's an odd mechanic to have to solve two puzzles at once, essentially. That's basically what they're saying. Alright, so this is yellow. Oof. 2 yellows, 2 whites, and a red. Alright, well you have to do this. Pretty unambiguously, because there's a red right here. And then somehow yellow and green combine. You're the weird one because you're so close to the green. And I'm supposed to mix blue into you? So we have a blue source. Currently going into 2 locations it's supposed to go into technically, but this has to combine all 3 colors. How am I going to manage that one? I shouldn't have made you a red, right? It does make a purple. Making a purple might be helpful just because, let's see, because yellow is green and red, so that part doesn't need a blue. So I could go straight to purple to make progress towards having white. But this mixes with the wrong elements. It pollutes the yellow. This one's a little hard to parse. Okay. That's shooting directly into the red. That's not good. Let's make you a split. Is that any help at all? Maybe not. Probably. Meh, if I shoot a blue into that, then it'll always have a green going into it. Meanwhile, this could be my other thing I work with. Shoot the green out that way. Maybe. Or is it better for you to be diagonal? I've run out of diagonals if that's what I'm going for at that point, though. This is always yellow. It was a little hard to tell. You can kind of see green in it, so it's like surprisingly a little hard to tell what you're looking at. But it's staying at a 2. It's staying at 2 out of 3. So that's how I make that yellow. We fed that through. But how do I deal with the fact that this is only half of the time feeding me green now? Not sure what to do about that. This is how I make sure it's always yellow. Then how do I feed that through? That's how I make sure it's always yellow. But that's even harder to feed back into the original yellow, into this guy. This one looks weird. Meanwhile, blue is supposed to do something at some point. But I've used up all my diagonals. The blue has to at least go into those two spots. In fact, it only goes into those two yellow spots. That's how I make my white, sometimes. Because it doesn't always work. It still doesn't always work. You always work, though, because it's feeding into here. Just doesn't always reach the other one. Yeah. Man, that's chaos, how it changes back and forth. On top of having yellow right up in its face, it just changes constantly. What if I change you? That's pure white, though. This is only yellow, so that one's lacking blue. Or we don't want blue going there, so... So white's making its all... Yeah, white's making all the way around now. And red, so I got both whites and both reds. Or both whites and the red. I need a yellow beam, which would be just red. I mean, this is just being wasted right now, isn't it? You might as well just be a straight beam at that point. I think it's the same outcome. Okay, that frees up another splitter. But to what end? How am I going to redirect red to there? Diagonal from this thing, but that's how I'm getting the blue through. Maybe I could do that differently? How is that even white right now? The blue's not even reaching it. It was bugged, wasn't it? It doesn't continually refresh. Huh. I do still think just shooting red is the correct solution. I think. The yellow, it's really just the yellow positioning is messing with me in this level. And here it is being bugged again. It's white. It's white, which would require blue to be in it, but blue's not going anywhere right now. Means the game's cheating right now, basically. How the hell do I do that? If I do that, it's not even the right color. Ah. These puzzles are hard. Though I think I'm just bad. I think I'm just bad at, like, laser mirror puzzles in general. I guess you could do the whole puzzle from up here, which at least lets me look at it better, because you have infinite range, technically. Yeah. It's hard to wrap your mind around puzzles where it shakes back and forth constantly. Based on that location, I find myself wondering if that's where the 3-direction one's supposed to go. Where is my wait, did they give me a 3-direction one? Let's just start over. Gotta revamp this from this angle. They did not give me a 3-direction one. One of the first things I need to do is I need to somehow undo the uncertainty, I guess, of this switching back and forth constantly. Which is its own problem, but then I also need to figure out how to make... Because you... Somehow I need to feed the yellow back in when it's ready. I guess that's how I'm going to get the green out. Is it bounces between these two, and because these two feed back into each other, it'll always go back into here. So once red's going into that, I'm good. Presumably. So now it's yellow. Now can I line up? So this also has to be yellow. But additionally, I need to mix the yellow and blue. Why is it white? It's definitely not supposed to be white right now. That gets the white in its two spots. But this needs to be yellow. And also this needs to stop being broken. It's broken. Come on, give me the correct colors. There we go. It was lying about what the colors were, basically, which is a problem. That doesn't work, does it? Yellow, green. Oh. Interesting. It doesn't always have a yellow beam going into it, but the red beam's always going into it. And so when the green turns away, it doesn't become yellow anymore, but the green is shooting into the red beam, so it becomes yellow right there. That was the key. Okay. I need to take a break, because this is a lot to deal with. The next step is puzzle number... What number are we on? 25.